Two practices, same software, same day, same mess. One had rebuilt the pipeline twice, the other had patched theirs until nobody could explain how to even use it. Both had built a Frankenstein pipeline. So let's break down what they missed before they ever should have started touching the software. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Jamie Gruhl. I am the co-founder of Workflows for Tax Pros, where we help small tax and accounting practice owners build a practice that runs without them using TaxDome. And as a level 3 certified TaxDome consultant, I can tell you why Frankenstein was created and how to prevent it in your small practice. So let's break it down. Now, everyone says the fix to a messy pipeline is a better pipeline. But both practices I sat with today in our automation sessions, they had pipelines. They were sort of working. The thing is, the template was never the missing piece. The decisions in the process were the missing piece. So, I want to touch on today the three things that you can do instead of just going straight to a template to help make your pipelines not end up as Frankensteins. The templates were never the problem, the decisions were. And if I can tell you anything, there are three decisions that you need to make today before you touch another stage, automation, or customization to your pipeline. And with the two practices that I sat down with today in our automation session, one of them nailed it on the head. He said, I have talked to 3, 4, 5 other practices, and they're all loving TaxDome. They're all loving what it has done for them. But something is missing for me, and I don't know what it is. And I think he nailed it because it's not the software. It's simply the decisions that he's making within the practice that he can make that will shift the outcome of his TaxDome pipeline. So let's break it down. So, the first thing that came to mind after I spoke to these two practices today was that neither of them had decided what the process should be. The first thing that I think that both of these practices could have done that would have made a difference in their Frankenstein pipeline is that they did not decide the process and then pick the feature. In a lot of cases, they allowed the template that they downloaded from the TaxDome marketplace to be the thing that drove the decision for them. And while that can be useful, there is a certain power that comes from really truly evaluating what is occurring in your steps before you commit to a template. And so when we're looking and building out pipelines in our Workflows for Tax Pros program, the first thing we do is teach you how to test. And we want you to experience the systems that we have designed through your own eyes, through the lens of the firm and the practice. Because what that does is it allows you to do three things. And you should be doing this when you're building pipelines too. The first thing is you need to make sure that you understand what has to be true in this specific client scenario for the work to enter into a stage. So this can apply to things like conditional logic. Is this the type of client that should ever even enter this step of the process? The second thing that you need to think about is once the job has gotten into a stage, who is going to do the work? So this is going to come down to, is this a practice action that needs to happen or a client action that needs to happen? Both of those are going to help inform what feature is the right feature to select as an automation in that step. And then the third thing is what has to be true before the job can leave this stage and go into the next step of our process. These are all very powerful questions that you could take today and go and assess your pipeline. If you have a sticky point or somewhere that things are not necessarily delegating the way you want them to, and the client's not getting you what you want them to, you could go back and use those three questions to make sure that your pipeline is designed through the process first and then select the feature. Now, the second thing that these pipelines were doing that was creating Frankenstein effect was that they were not letting them carry the standard operating process or procedure of the practice. So when I was talking with these people, there was a very obvious missing piece, and that was the SOP. In both practices' experience, they were having the handoff and delegation of work was very clunky. And it's because they were trying to train the team members outside of the pipeline through knowledge transfer among humans and expectation setting, probably in reaction to something being done wrong. Where what I would love to see you do is let the pipeline and the tasks and the actions within the pipeline be a reflection of your actual standard operating procedure or process and the expectations that you are setting for each step of the process. So what this can look like in practice in your TaxDome pipeline is that let's start with the client view. So, in your onboarding of a tax prep client, you need to ask your client to complete an organizer so that you have the information to be able to complete a proper return as concisely and accurately as possible with as little back and forth as possible, correct? Okay. So when you're doing that, you should be developing your request of information from your client using the proper feature in TaxDome, which would be the organizer, but making sure that as you're developing that organizer, that it is aligning to the standard operating procedure or process in your practice. So what is all the information that you need to gather from the different types of individual clients that you serve? Making sure that you're doing your due diligence, making sure that you understand if anyone had new dependents, making sure that any life changes that occurred, moving, death in the family, etc. All of those are things that would fall into that category of SOP. And so when you're designing your organizer, you need to make sure that you are building it to that SOP. Now, let's say that you've got your organizer designed. The next step of the process is you or someone on your team need to review the documents and the information that was received from your clients in order to assess, did we get everything we needed? That will allow you to make sure that you are doing this in a consistent, standardized way. So when you're building out the task that would trigger in the next stage of the pipeline that gets assigned to somebody on your team, you should be looking at it through the lens of, does my task contain the SOP that sets the proper process step by step and the proper expectations for my team members to successfully complete this task? And that is how you can start building your SOP into your TaxDome system. Now, today, I also was lucky enough to get to spend some time with some new members in Workflows for Tax Pros through our fast track sessions. And one of the very brilliant women that was on the line was sharing that she started developing her TaxDome system several years ago. And she joined us recently because she's wanting to refine it and she's wanting to think bigger and hear what others are doing. But in that process of her setting up her TaxDome and over the last couple of years, she started hearing more and more about how taking and building out properly documented SOPs into your automated processes can help with your practice being a more valuable asset if you ever choose to sell it. But the win of doing that process, if you decide never to sell it, is that you actually get to have a business that is operating fully functionally and as an asset for you. And it's probably going to become something that you love actually working in. And so when you take the time to do this process of making sure that your system is carrying the SOPs and the expectations of your practice, both for you on the firm side and on the client side, you can transform the way in which you are running your business. It's kind of like if you think about, I don't know if you've ever done this, but it came to mind when she was sharing this. I have had a home that we lived in for 10 years, and there were all of these projects that we always wanted to do. But we didn't do the projects until we decided to sell the house. And then we did the master suite upgrade. We gave ourselves a beautiful bathroom. I only got to enjoy it for like 3 months before we sold the house. And so when you're doing this in your business, if you think about it the same way, doing this work now, earlier on, before you actually want to sell, gives you the actual enjoyment of getting to luxuriously work every day using your TaxDome systems and providing an excellent client experience. Now, the third thing is not necessarily a pipeline, but it absolutely affects all of the work that you do within your pipeline and can definitely create some Frankenstein effect within your practice. And that third thing is that you must eliminate multiple channels into your practice. Now, one of the practices I spoke to today had multiple CPAs and multiple admin assistants that come on to support the CPAs during tax season. And one of the owners shared with me that during tax season, they were really good about not letting clients communicate with them through the email inbox. But once tax season was over, they removed their out of office that said, hey, we're not replying to emails here. And all of a sudden, the email started going back into the inbox and he started replying back to them and communicating with the clients out of the inbox because it was familiar to him. And the clients were gladly replying back to his emails because it's familiar to them. And we have to make the decision in our practices to make TaxDome the source of truth. Because when you have multiple team members, or you want to have multiple team members, or you're a solo practitioner who just wants to have things be a whole lot more streamlined, leveraging the communications hub within the TaxDome system makes a lot of sense. And it is a newer feature of TaxDome, but it allows for you to establish some processes that can really create a lot of efficiency. Now, one of the things that he was complaining about specifically was that clients were emailing him towards the, latter part of them getting extension season going, saying, "Hey, do you have everything you need? Like, where do I get my invoice? When will you have my return done?" Into his email inbox. And it wasn't allowing the administrative staff that was still on board to be able to head those off for him. And so by him doing and communicating out of his inbox, the team did not have a standardized process to manage the inbox through the TaxDome system. And so when you have multiple channels, you're going to, one, have a broken communication, and transparency among team members about specific clients breaks down very quickly. So what I'm going to recommend for you to do is consider limiting your channels inbound into your practice from your clients to just your TaxDome portal. Yes, that can feel scary. Yes, that can feel like your clients are going to revolt and hate you and run around screaming that you're the worst tax professional or accountant in the world. But I promise you, it just is like training new puppies. You have to be consistent with your clients, put boundaries up where you can put them technologically. So thinking something like putting an out of office notice on your inbox that says, "We do not reply to client communications here. If you need something, please go to our portal so we can ensure that it is a secure and consistently efficient process for you." Now, there's ways you can work with AI to make that sound more client friendly, but that's just what came to mind. And that's going to allow you to have one place where you're going to manage your clients. When we're trying to manage hundreds, these people had, I think, almost 800 or 900 clients. That's a lot of people to manage, a lot of inbound questions, a lot of "where's my stuff at?" There's other things we can do in our pipelines to help make sure that we're communicating more effectively, proactively. But you're still going to get those questions inbound. So when they do come in, that allows you to have an administrative team who can go in and quickly assess and answer those simple questions. And if they can't answer them, or there's something important for the tax professional or accountant to be the one responsible for replying to, they can assign that work out to you through the TaxDome system. And so with this and what I've just shared with you through these 3 steps, I want you to make sure that as you're evaluating your pipeline in preparation for next tax season, building your first pipeline with TaxDome, or maybe even just trying to overcome some of the bottlenecks that you have in your practice, try and avoid that Frankenstein pipeline by first making sure that you do make the decision first and then apply the features to it. Second, I want you to make sure that you're always making sure that your TaxDome system is a reflection of your decided standard operating procedure, and that is allowing you to set the process and the expectations for yourself and all team members by making sure that that is documented and that you all are able to understand exactly what is expected at each step of the process. And then finally, you want to make sure that you have one inbound channel for your clients, and that is your TaxDome portal, because that is going to dramatically lessen the effort that it takes to keep up to date on what's going on with a specific client, because everything's going to live right in the TaxDome account and in the portals. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you're like, "Oh my God, I don't even know where to start with building my pipelines, and I'm so overwhelmed with figuring out how TaxDome even operates," or you're somebody who just wants to see what's possible to shift in your operations for your small practice, I would invite you to check out the video we have linked below this one, where we help small tax and accounting practice owners rethink what small practice operations can look like so that you can build a business that is actually helping you to create a life and a business that you love. So if you're interested, check us out, and we would love to help you make sure that you have no more Frankenstein pipelines in your small practice. We'll see you around.